Rewire your beliefs. Do you ever feel like you're on a financial treadmill? You're working harder, trying to save, maybe even investing a little. But true, lasting wealth feels like a destination you can never quite reach. What if I told you the biggest barrier isn't your paycheck, your debt, or the stock market? What if it's the 6 inches between your ears? The truth is, your financial reality is a direct reflection of your internal beliefs about money. Today, we're not just talking about budgets and portfolios. We are going deeper. We are going to rewire your core beliefs, dismantle the mental blocks holding you back, and install a new operating system, the mindset of the wealthy. I know what you might be thinking. Think rich, get rich sounds like a cheap slogan from a self-help guru. But on this channel, Hope to Wealth, we deal in reality, the real, emotional stories of financial transformation. And the undeniable truth I've seen over and over is that a wealthy life is built on the foundation of a wealthy mind. It's not magic. It's psychology and neuroscience. Your brain has been programmed since childhood with a specific money script. For most of us, that script is full of fear, scarcity, and limitations. In this video, we're going to expose that old script and hand you a new one. We'll break down the science of how your beliefs literally shape your financial reality. I'll give you a practical, step-by-step guide to reprogramming your mind, from understanding your past to building new, identity-based habits that attract wealth automatically. This isn't just motivation, it's a manual for a complete mental and financial overhaul. If you're ready to finally break free and build the life you deserve, prove it to yourself by hitting that like button and subscribing right now. Let's begin the transformation. Act 1. The Blueprint of Belief. Uncovering your money script. Before you can build a skyscraper, you have to inspect the foundation. Your financial foundation is what we call a money script, a collection of powerful, often unconscious beliefs about money that dictate every financial decision you make. These scripts are written in the wet cement of your childhood. Think back for a moment. What did you hear about money growing up? Was it, money doesn't grow on trees? Or, rich people are greedy? Or maybe, we can't afford that? These phrases, repeated over and over, aren't just words. They are programming. They become the silent narrator in your head when you think about asking for a raise, starting a business, or investing in the stock market. Let me tell you about a guy named Mark. Mark was a brilliant software developer, one of the best in his company. He consistently delivered amazing work, but was chronically underpaid. Every year during his performance review, he'd freeze up. He couldn't bring himself to ask for the salary he knew he deserved. Why? Because his father, a factory worker, had always drilled into him the EVAR belief. Be grateful you have a job. Don't be greedy. Don't make waves. That single belief, his money script, was costing him tens of thousands of dollars a year. It created a reality where he was always the undervalued workhorse. Your script might be different. Maybe you're a money avoider, believing money is bad and rich people are corrupt. So you subconsciously sabotage your own success to remain good. Or perhaps you're a money worshiper, believing more money will solve all your problems, leading you to chase dollars at the expense of your health and relationships. To start rewiring, you first have to read the current code. Here's your first exercise. I want you to take out a journal or open a new note on your phone. Write down your 3 earliest and most vivid memories involving money. What happened? Who was there? What emotions did you feel? Anxiety, excitement, shame, joy. Then, write down 5 things you heard your parents or guardians say about money repeatedly. This isn't about blame. It's about awareness. You cannot change a program you don't know is running. This is the diagnostic phase. We are identifying the faulty code that has kept you stuck, the invisible chains that have held you back from your potential. By bringing these subconscious beliefs into the light, you take away their power. You begin to realize they are not truths. They are simply old stories. And the beautiful thing about stories is that you can decide to write a new one. Act 2. The Scarcity Trap versus the Abundance Mindset. Now that you've begun to identify your money script, Let's talk about the two fundamental operating systems it can run on: scarcity or abundance. This is the single most important distinction in the psychology of wealth. The scarcity mindset sees the world as a finite pie. If someone else gets a big slice, that means there's less for you. It's a zero-sum game. This mindset breeds fear, anxiety, and competition. It's the voice that tells you to hoard your money, to fear any expense, to see investing as gambling, and to be envious of others' success. A person with a scarcity mindset might get a $5,000 bonus, and their first thought isn't, "How can I grow this?" but "How can I protect this from being lost?" They focus on not losing rather than on winning. They see every dollar spent as a permanent loss, not as an investment or an exchange of value. The abundance mindset, on the other hand, sees the pie as infinitely expandable. It understands that value can be created out of thin air. Someone else's success doesn't diminish your own. In fact, it can be a source of inspiration and opportunity. Abundance is about seeing possibilities, not limitations. It's the mindset that allows you to invest in yourself, in a new skill, a business coach, a course, because you see it as a way to grow the entire pie. It sees money not as a scarce resource to be hoarded, but as a tool, a form of energy that flows. When you spend money with a business, you're not just losing it. You're helping to pay an employee's salary, who then uses that money to buy groceries, supporting a farmer, and so on. It's a flow of value. Consider the story of two friends, Alex and Ben, who both got laid off from the same company. Alex, operating from scarcity, immediately panicked. He cut every possible expense, stopped seeing friends to save money on gas, and spent 12 hours a day frantically applying for any job he could find, regardless of whether it fit his skills. His world shrank. Ben, while also concerned, operated from abundance. He saw the layoff not as a disaster, but as an opportunity. He used some of his severance to enroll in a high-demand certification course. He networked, met with people in his desired field, and treated his job search as a project to find the right fit, not just any fit. 6 months later, Alex was in a new job he hated, making less money than before. Ben landed a dream role at a fast-growing company with a 30% salary increase. Same initial situation, vastly different outcomes, dictated entirely by their mindset. Shifting from scarcity to abundance is a conscious choice you have to make every single day. It starts with how you talk. Banish phrases like, "I can't afford it." Replace them with, "How can I afford it?" The first one is a dead end. The second one opens your mind to creative solutions. If you're starting to see your own patterns in this and you're ready to choose abundance, show your commitment by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. We're building a community of abundance thinkers here, and you belong with us. Act 3. The science of neuroplasticity. You can change your brain. This is where we move from theory to tangible science. For a long time, it was believed that the adult brain was fixed, but we now know that's completely false. The breakthrough concept is called neuroplasticity, and it's your golden ticket to a new financial life. Think of your brain as a dense forest. When you think a thought or perform an action for the first time, it's like hacking a small path through the undergrowth. It's difficult. The second time, it's a little easier. After 1,000 repetitions, that path becomes a well-worn trail. After 1,000,000 repetitions, it's a 6-lane superhighway. Your limiting beliefs. I'm bad with money. It's hard to get rich. I'll always be in debt. Are neural superhighways in your brain. The thought fires so quickly and automatically you don't even question it. It feels like a fundamental truth, but it's not. It's just a well-paved road. Neuroplasticity means you have the power to let that old highway become overgrown with weeds from disuse while you start building a new one. How do we do this? Through focused, repetitive mental exercises that create and strengthen new neural pathways. The 3 most powerful tools for this are affirmations, visualization, and mindfulness. Let's start with affirmations, but not the cheesy kind. Simply saying, "I am wealthy," when you have $10 in your bank account, creates a conflict in your brain that leads to rejection. Effective affirmations are framed in the present and focus on the process and identity. Instead of, "I am a millionaire," try, "I am a person who makes smart, disciplined financial decisions." Or, "I am capable of building immense wealth." Or, "I see and seize financial opportunities everywhere." Write these down. Say them aloud every morning and every evening. Feel the emotion behind them. This repetition begins to carve that new neural path. Next is visualization. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a real and a vividly imagined experience. When you visualize, you're activating the same neural circuits that would fire if you were actually living that experience. This is a rehearsal for your future success. Don't just picture a mansion. That's too vague. Get detailed. Close your eyes for 5 minutes a day and visualize yourself logging into your bank account and seeing your goal balance. Feel the sense of peace and accomplishment. Visualize yourself confidently negotiating a business deal or calmly checking your growing investment portfolio. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the emotions. You are literally building the neurological framework for that reality before it even happens. Finally, mindfulness is the supervisor of this whole process. It's the practice of observing your thoughts without judgment. When the old thought, "I'll never get out of debt," pops up, mindfulness allows you to see it, acknowledge it. There's that old scarcity program again. And then consciously choose to replace it with your new abundant thought. You stop being a slave to your automatic programming and become the conscious programmer of your own mind. This isn't wishful thinking. This is a neurological workout. You are actively participating in the evolution of your own brain. Act 4. Acting as if, the power of identity-based habits. So we've uncovered your old script and we've learned that you can physically change your brain to support a new one. Now, how do we accelerate this process in the real world? The key is to stop focusing on the goal and start focusing on the identity. This concept, popularized by James Clear in Atomic Habits, is a game changer. Most people have goal-based approaches. I want to lose 20 pounds or I want to make $1 million. The problem is, you're still the same person trying to achieve a new outcome. The identity-based approach flips this. You ask, who is the type of person that has the results I want? The goal isn't to make $1 million. The goal is to become the type of person who naturally builds and manages wealth. The outcome is just a byproduct of the identity. So ask yourself, what does a wealthy, financially savvy person do on a daily basis? How do they think? How do they talk? How do they handle problems? You're not pretending to be someone you're not. You are stepping into the identity you want to become. It's acting as if until it becomes who you are. Let's break this down into practical habits. What is the identity of a wealthy individual? They are lifelong learners. So, what habit can you adopt? Instead of scrolling social media for an hour before bed, read 10 pages of a book on finance, business, or psychology. That's the habit of a wealthy person. They value their time. How can you act as if you value your time? Start by saying no to things that don't align with your goals. Maybe you invest in a service that saves you a few hours a week, even if it's just a grocery delivery service. You're teaching your brain that your time is worth more than a few dollars. They take calculated risks. The scarcity mindset avoids all risk. The abundance mindset understands that there is no reward without risk. Start small. Invest your first $100 in a low-cost index fund. The amount is irrelevant. The act itself is a vote for your new identity as an investor. Every time you perform one of these habits, you are casting a vote for that new identity. Reading 10 pages doesn't make you a genius overnight, but it casts a vote for, I am a learner. Making your first small investment doesn't make you Warren Buffett, but it casts a vote for, I am an investor. Enough votes, and the identity becomes your new reality. A friend of mine completely changed his life with this principle. He wanted to start a business but was terrified. His identity was, I'm just a regular employee. He decided to adopt the identity of a successful entrepreneur. He asked, what would a successful entrepreneur do today? Well, they'd probably read industry news, so he started his day with that. Then he thought they'd probably have a professional-looking email signature, so he created one. They'd probably reach out to one new person in their network, so he did that every day. These tiny, seemingly insignificant actions, compounded over months, fundamentally changed how he saw himself. The fear faded because his identity was shifting. A year later, he launched his business successfully. He became the person he was acting as. We're digging into the real strategies now, the things that create tangible change. If you're finding this valuable, please take a second to hit that like button. It truly helps the channel reach more people who need to hear this message. Act 5. From Mind to Reality, your 30-day action plan. Theory is great, but without action, it's just entertainment. This final part is your bridge from the internal world of mindset to the external world of results. I'm going to give you a concrete action plan to start implementing everything we've talked about, starting today. This is your 30-day Wealthy Mindset Challenge. Step 1. The Wealthy Self Audit. For the next 30 days, before you make any financial decision, no matter how small, I want you to pause and ask one simple question. What would the wealthy, successful future version of me do in this situation? Would the wealthy you buy that daily $7 latte, or would they brew coffee at home and automatically invest that $7 into their portfolio? Would the wealthy you spend 3 hours watching Netflix after work, or would they spend one of those hours learning a high-income skill? This question forces you to break your automatic patterns and align your daily actions with your desired identity. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about making conscious choices that your future self will thank you for. Carry a small notebook or use a note on your phone to track your decisions. This act of tracking makes it real. Step 2. Curate your environment. You cannot maintain $1 million mindset in a $10 environment. Your environment is constantly programming you. For the next 30 days, you will become the ruthless curator of your inputs. Go through your social media feeds. Unfollow any account that makes you feel envious, inadequate, or promotes a scarcity mindset. Follow people who you admire, who are successful in your field, who share knowledge and an abundant worldview. Change your inputs. What podcasts do you listen to on your commute? Switch them to podcasts about business, investing, and personal growth. What's the first thing you see in the morning? Instead of your phone, maybe it's your written affirmations on your nightstand. Your environment should be a constant reminder of the identity you are building, not the one you're leaving behind. Step 3. The Daily Abundance Protocol. This is a non-negotiable daily practice. Every morning before you check your phone, you will do 2 things. First, you will spend 2 minutes visualizing. Close your eyes and step into the feeling of your financial goals already being achieved. Feel the security, the freedom, the pride. Second, you will write down 3 specific things you are grateful for related to your finances right now. It could be, I'm grateful for the job that provides my income. I'm grateful for the food in my fridge that my money bought. Or, I'm grateful for the internet connection that allows me to learn and grow. Gratitude is the chemical antidote to scarcity. It is physiologically impossible to be in a state of fear and a state of gratitude at the same time. This simple practice rewires your brain to look for what you have, for the abundance that already exists, creating a foundation upon which more can be built. This 30-day plan is not a magic pill. It is a training regimen. It will be challenging at times. Your old programming will fight back. But if you commit to it, you will not only change your habits, you will fundamentally upgrade your identity. You will emerge from these 30 days as a different person, a person who thinks, acts, and therefore attracts wealth. We've covered a lot of ground today, but it all boils down to one profound truth. Your external world is a mirror of your internal world. Lasting wealth is never an accident. It's a consequence. It's the consequence of uncovering and rewriting your old money scripts, of consciously choosing an abundance mindset over the scarcity trap that holds so many people captive. It's the consequence of understanding the science of neuroplasticity and doing the work, the affirmations, the visualizations, to physically change your brain. And most importantly, it's the consequence of adopting the identity of a wealthy person and building the small daily habits that bring that identity to life. This isn't about faking it till you make it. It's about believing it until you become it. The transformation starts now with the very next decision you make. If this video sparks something in you, don't let that fire go out. Commit to your transformation. The best way to do that is to become part of a community that supports your growth. So, subscribe to Hope to Wealth and turn on notifications. Hit the like button if you found even one piece of value today. And now, I want you to take your first action. Go to the comments section and declare one limiting belief about money that you are officially letting go of, starting today. Let's hold each other accountable. Share this video with one person you know who needs to hear this message. Thank you for investing your time with me. We'll see you in the next video.